You're listening to The Objective Jerk, and I am said jerk. What's up? How's everybody doing? Those of you that are, in the thralls of Lenten season, are you keeping up? I wish I could say I have been pretty faithful. I've had a couple days where I just completely forgot that I didn't pray the rosary, or I don't know, not the greatest. But I mean, for the most part, I've been pretty good. Some people are like, I'm going to pray the rosary 4 times a day. And I'm just like, God, I can't even do one. I'm trying to just get in the habit of just praying every day, just at least once. That's what I want. So when this is all said and done, I'll be praying the rosary every day. And then maybe next year, I'll do it like twice a day. I don't know. We'll see. But so what's going on? Let's see. For those that watch the videos only, I did record a podcast talking about the 4th Star Trek movie, but I screwed up the video. I deleted it accidentally, so there's no video for it. So if you are interested, just check out the podcast, the audio version on Buzzsprout, or I'm on Spotify and Apple Cast and all that stuff too. But I know I got people just clamoring for that. But yeah, what's up? Let's see. Me, it's Lenten season, so I'm just trying to keep my mind busy and drink, pray, and lift. That's what I've been trying to do. That's my new mantra. I mean, I always drink coffee. One of these days for Lent, I'll have to not drink coffee. Man, I just love coffee. And it's not so much, I mean, obviously, caffeine is a problem. And, addiction to caffeine is a problem. But I just like the taste. I like to be sipping something. So, I mean, I can get some decaf. If I can get some good tasting decaf, I can go without drinking. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, I mean, the caffeine is more of a thing than I probably really realize. I'm sure if I was just to drink decaf, I would probably be like, oh, I'd be miserable for the first couple days. I'm pretty sure. But that's not why I'm like, oh my gosh, I need coffee. I mean, I guess it is, but I just like to be drinking something, sipping on something, and I love the taste and smell of coffee. So that's why, I drink coffee. I mean, am I addicted to the caffeine in coffee too? Probably, yeah, most definitely. But if I'm ever like, man, I need some caffeine, that's when I'll drink like an energy drink or something. But yeah, so drink, pray, and lift, right? Drink coffee, pray the rosary, lift weights. Or I guess train. I guess some people could do training. People do like, boxing and stuff. Drink, pray, train. Anyway, that's a good little mantra to, 3 things. I mean, it's good and easy for me because, I've been doing those 3 for a while now. So, but, whatever. So, yeah. And then part of my other Lent was not posting anything political, mainly on Facebook. I haven't been on X, or I might get on Instagram. I haven't really posted anything. I'll get on and do a little scrolling and see what's going on. But I'm not really posting. I'm not really looking for stuff. The only social media type thing I'm regularly on is YouTube. To watch stuff. But other than that, I haven't really been on, so it's kind of nice. Oh, wow. Crap, I got a lot of stuff on here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I got a bunch of things here on my notes. As I said before, I things that I think about I want to discuss on the podcast, I'll put them in my notes as a reminder so I can follow along instead of like, let's see, But anyway, so I'm starting to think that the companies that produce flags such as the one behind me, um, I'm kind of thinking they're the ones behind all the woke DEI stuff, because there's all these different, you got the trans flag, gay flag, Black Lives Matter, and then and then now there was the everybody's like showing support for Ukraine, and it's like they're changing their flag like every week. So it's like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking that they're behind it all. You know what? They're pushing for it. We're selling so many flags right now. Or like how many liberal retards are like have companies or own companies that produce flags or something. There's something going on there. Oh yeah. It's just like when there's a war and people that own a bunch of stock and HESCO barriers or whatever. And then they create the war and then they make a lot of money. It's the same thing, man. They own flags, companies that make flags, and let's start this crap and use flags to show our whatever. But I'm kind of the agreement of yeah, I'm pretty much American flag, state flag. That's it. I mean, I think if you were in the army, you could have the army flag, or if you're in the military, or maybe like if you work for a school and you have like that school, what do you call it, district, you know, or if you work for, I don't know, something like that. But it's like just all these different flags and for everything. And I'm a vegetarian. Do they have a flag for a vegetarian, for veganism? Probably, but I don't know. Man, speaking of veganism, so I've been watching the show Bones. I talked about it before. And lots of things annoy me, but for the most part, I'm enjoying it. But man, the most annoying, retarded characters on that show is the main character, the woman, because I don't know, she doesn't know what the hell's going on. And then the her Asian friend, who's like the liberal hippie, she's annoying as hell too. I like the boss girl, can't think of her name right now, the black chick. And all the males are pretty good for the most part. Even the annoying like intern chick, she's a little more easier to digest, I guess. But just some of the stuff, it's like, and the show is, yeah, it pokes a lot of fun at religion and this and that. But it kind of seems like it tapered down a little bit. But there's been a couple episodes where it's like it starts. I think I've skipped 2 episodes. I started watching them, and then it's just like, oh my god, I don't want this crap again. So there was like another one with a Catholic, something, I can't remember what it was now, and I was just like, dude, well, I just skipped to the next episode. And then there was one where it was like this guy who owned like a chicken farm, and oh, the chickens, and then the hippie Asian chick was like, how are we friends? You don't even feel bad for the chicken. And I was just like, God, shut up. I skipped it. I was like, it's just annoying. My favorite part is the first half of the show, where it's like they're getting the body and they're finding the stuff and they're kind of figuring out and they figure out how the person dies, and you know what I mean? But it's like some of the just the little side whatever of the characters are sometimes entertaining and I like it, but sometimes it's annoying. But it's stuff like this though, where it's not like, so this show started in like early 2000s, but the stuff is always, there's always been an agenda with everything. If you look for it and you look close, you can see it, and it can be both ways, whatever. But it's all propaganda, really. It's kind of annoying. And it's even worse now. I can't even watch anything that's out right now. Anyway, so let's see. What's some stuff going on? Iran war, right? In New York, there were some protesters that lit a little bomb, fused bomb, like a little, I don't know, like a pipe bomb kind of thing, and tossed it to people who were protesting Muslims in the city, and it's like these people pretty much prove their point. There's a video of some dumb looking liberal white dude like, oh my gosh, we need to love everybody, and then the guy that throws a bomb comes up right behind him and tosses the bomb. I don't know, I don't know, it's funny. It's retarded and funny at the same time. People trying to be like, oh, it's a psyop, Israeli trying to make Muslims look. No, dude. You know, and again, it's that same argument. You know, well, 9/11, like, what's the argument? So if America wasn't busy policing the world, which I don't agree with either. I don't like America sticking their nose in everything. I understand maybe there's certain things, maybe we can help a country so we can get a little something from them or whatever, you know, quid pro quo kind of thing. I get it, but when they're overthrowing or attacking or doing some stuff, and it's kind of a fine line, so it's kind of hard to say, oh, I agree with this, but you know, they're trying to say, you know, America, the Contra, you know, where crap where they were selling arms to the Taliban against Russia, and just all the different crap going on then, us being involved, and family members that were, you know, Muslim family members that died, and then those kids grew up to hate America, and then because of that, you know, 9/11, and then you had the anti-Muslim because of the, you know what I mean? And it's just like it's our fault, like it's our fault 9/11 happened. Now, you know, I'm not going to get into 9/11 because I've talked about before whether it was completely legit or if it was orchestrated a little bit, but the thing is, when it comes to Islam, they don't like Christians, you know? They want them dead. That's what the Quran teaches, and that's what's been throughout their history, you know? And they're always on the offensive, trying to find ways to disrupt and do whatever. They just never been able to, you know, hit the entire globe, I guess you could say. But now with the immigration and all the stuff going on, I mean, you look at Europe, they've immigrated, you know, millions, and they're having all kinds of violence and in Ireland and just everywhere. Just Muslims are just causing havoc, you know. And so people to be like, oh man, this war that with Iran is just going to cause more. It's like, no, it's getting rid of, you know, the hardcore Islamist terrorism type mindset. You know what I mean? We've been sitting there. Oh, we don't want to make Iran mad. We don't want them to bomb this. I mean, there have been hijackings and all kinds of stuff back in the day. They've always been violent. They've always been a pain in the ass. So then what do? We pay them money so they won't do anything. And then it's like, no, man, enough's enough. They're always like, death to America, death to America. Okay, fine. Here we go. So we take them out, and it's, you can't, sometimes you have to get rid of evil in a forceful way. You know what I mean? You can't just, oh, let's just sing Kumbaya and, you know, things will be, it's like, no, they're never going to accept that. They're never going to. So this is, you know, this is the way, you know. I mean, it sucks to go to war. I mean, the war is still pretty, I mean, it's hard to even call it a war at this moment. But, man, there's been a few service people that have died kind of stupidly. And it's like Air Force, Navy. Generally, it's like the Marines and the Army, you know. But, I mean, it sucks that American soldiers have to lose their life. But that's what you sign up for, though. You know what I mean? I signed up after 9/11 expecting to go to war and risk my life to help protect our country. Again, I was not expecting to go to Iraq, but that's another podcast. But, you know, I knew that it was possible that I may get killed. You know what I mean? So the people that, and are there people that join the military for just the benefits to get the GI Bill and this and that, and then something comes up, they're like, oh my God. Yeah, there are, but the thing is, you're a soldier first, or an airman, or, seaman, whatever, Marine. That's part of it. So, I mean, it sucks when American soldiers lose their lives, but it is part of the job, you know. It's worse when it's friendly fire or stupid accidents or stuff, but it's like, I mean, more soldiers die in like, car accidents and doing stupid shit outside of war than they do during war. But yeah, what was I talking about? I don't know. Where am I? Oh man, stupid screensaver. Hold on. All right, halfway. Well, a little more than halfway. But yeah, so I think I talked about it in the last one. It's a necessary evil, I guess. It had to be done. It had to be done. It was just gonna get worse. And then you notice, like, let me see. Do I got that on here? Like, the only country that isn't having problems like this is Poland. Poland doesn't let nobody in their country. You know. Oh, but then white supremacy. What? What are you talking about? They're Polish. They only want Polish people. It's kind of hard. American, because but American is you assimilate to American ideals. It doesn't mean you have to be a Christian, but you learn the language, you support the Constitution, you do all that kind of stuff. I don't know, even people who are citizens, if they're like supporting terrorism and all this kind of crap, they should lose their status and go to jail and be deported. Yeah, and when I mean support, I mean I don't mean by like, oh yay, this free speech crap. I'm talking about actively like funding people to cause harm on other Americans and stuff like that. But what's funny was so it's been at least a week since the little bomb throwing thing in New York. But when it happened, it was like they were calling the people throwing the bomb protesters, and the people protesting Muslims far right extremists. It's like, and they wonder why the media is just crumbling. Well, I can't get. I don't understand. Yeah, it's stupid. But this is the new you know the new Crusades, basically. The Crusades started as a response to the Ottoman Empire and Islam attacking and doing all kinds of crap all over there. After it was like hundreds of years of it, and then they finally was like, okay, no more of this, and then they went on the offensive. The Christians went on the offensive. This is almost the same thing. It's getting to that point where you got all these Muslims going over. It's like, dude, if your way of life is so great and your religion is so great, why are you not still living where you live? You know, I don't know. It's just, but it's at that point now where, okay, no more. It's like they're trying to do Sharia law and different places and all this kind of crap. It's like, no. So it's like the exact same thing. I mean, it's not just being on the offensive, but they're trying to really invade. And look at Europe right now, man. It's like insane over there. And it's going on. This is like the new Crusades is going on pretty soon. I don't know. It's going to get. I mean, that's kind of what this is, I guess. This is almost a response to that in a sense. Because Iran's behind most every kind of Islamic terrorism, whatever. They fund, money, weapons, training people. So it's like this needs to be done. Now, are there people who live in America who are Muslim or Iranian who maybe lost some family members because of this? Probably. Are they going to be upset with America? Probably. But if they're going to turn around and try and make something out of it, then they need to go back, I mean, like I said, I have English and Norwegian, if Norway started invading and blowing up people and then we destroyed them, I'm not going to be like, you know, it's like, whatever. And what's funny too is like when all these like all the protesting is all mainly white liberal women. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are white liberal women so psycho? All I can say is I'm glad I didn't marry one. I had crushes or was dated some white women. I don't know if they're liberal or not. I mean, when you're younger, they probably were liberal, really. But, dude, keep picking up noises. Got the window open. But I'm just glad I didn't marry a white liberal woman. I'm so glad. Oh man, life's so much easier. Yes. Let's see. And then there was a clip of a Democrat politician named Garrett McGuire. He was arguing that some of there's been a few shootings lately where the individual who was committing the crime was thwarted or stopped or whatever by an individual who didn't have a gun. There's one where guy got, somebody stabbed and took out the guy, or they took out whatever, went hands on, took him out. Great. Now he's trying to be like, see, you don't need to have guns to fight armed people. Like he's making an argument against the Second Amendment, and it's like, what? Are you stupid? I can hear a bird in the background. Should close my window. I'm almost done though, so. Sound effects. Yeah. There goes a motorcycle. All right. But that's just stupidity. You don't need a gun to fight another person who's armed with a gun. Like they're trying to, oh, see, people don't need to be armed if there's bad guys. There's other ways. It's like, okay, well, let's try this. Let's get rid of the Capitol Police, and then just so if somebody goes into the Capitol while you guys are doing your shit, somebody's armed, let's let you guys just handle it without a gun, It's like, and these people, the actors, and which kind of goes into with the Oscars too. So I guess there was a threat towards the Oscars, which is which is going on now, or it might be over now for me, but they requested like 1,000 armed individuals. So you have, Democrat liberal idiots trying to get rid of the Second Amendment. You have dumb Democrat liberal actors and dipshits trying to defund the police and then turn around and be like, oh, but we need security for us and we need, to protect and all this kind of crap. It's like, Democrats they're so stupid. They're the dumbest people. They just are. I have some Democrat family who I love, but they're stupid. I had some Democrat friends, but not anymore because they're stupid. But it's like, and a lot of people are kind of getting wind of this and they're realizing how dumb these takes are and all this kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying they're going over to the Republican, conservative, whatever, but they're definitely not supporting the dumb liberal left, so they're in the middle, whatever. But it's like they're kind of catching on. Catholicism is growing. A lot of the stupidity that is the liberal left is just failing because it's just like an offshoot of socialism and everything. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. None of that stuff works, man. They're just, they're so, I don't know. They're so angry. I used to, I could almost put my mom in the same category. I don't like to say that. My mom, she's no longer with us. God rest her soul. But she wasn't like political, but she was left leaning, She hated Trump, and she would always like bring up stuff, you know, about either the Republicans or Trump, and then I would be like, well, blah blah blah, and I would say something. She's like, well, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just like, well, that's par for the course, right? That's the liberal left. But I do wish she was here, that we could still have those discussions. We've had a couple. We had a couple like heated, like, you know, but I mean, it wasn't like, screw you, I hate you, I'm never talking to you again. It was never like that. We would, you know, debate, heated debate, but then it would, okay, all right, well, that's it. How's the grandkids? How's this? Whatever, this and that. Love you. You know what I mean? So I still respected and loved her. She was my mom, and she still loved me. I don't know if she respected me. No, she did. But yeah, so it kind of sucks. But it was a nice, because so now I don't really go, like I said, I'm not posting stuff. I've never been one to go and I mean, okay, that's a lie. So when during Trump's first, it was during Trump's first, or the beginning of Biden. I think it was, yeah, after the election, and Biden was, I had some friends, liberal friends that would post something, and I would make a comment, but I wasn't like attacking. I was just like, man, no, I don't think so. I think this. I feel like this is whatever. I can't remember what it was. And that's when they started like, oh, yeah, this is why I don't, because you like Trump. And I'm like, whoa, where'd all this come from, So I can't say that I never went and made comments about stuff, but it was just, it was just more, at that time, it was more opinion, like they do the thing. And I'm like, yeah, like I understood what they're saying, but I'm like, nah, I think this is better. But so I still have family and friends that will post stuff. And I'm just like, dude. And yeah, I could just be like, dude, what are you talking about? Get in some debate and whatever. But I just ignore it, really. I'm not trying to start, because it sucks debating on a keyboard anyway. That's like the worst. You have to, if you're going to actually debate with somebody that's like a friend or whatever, and that's not just going to sit there and like yell and talk over you like they do on, certain news outlets and stuff, but it's got to be in, or face to face, or at least, Zoom to Zoom, camera to camera, or something. Because when you're doing it just texting or chatting or whatever, it's nothing, it's never resolved, It just goes back and forth, and it's like you're never going to change my mind about that unless it's like in person and kind of talking and showing some evidence of why you believe this and that. You know what I mean? I mean, people can write a book, but it's still. I've done that before. I've written paragraphs, and then the person just like, eh, and I'm just like, dude, I just wasted how much time doing that. You know what I mean? So I quit doing it. And then I see my one friend who's always, and he'll do the same thing, and I'm just like, okay, but it's like he's wanting me to answer back in the same book. It's like, no, I'm not, But haven't heard from him in a while because I haven't posted anything. I mean, I haven't posted anything hardly. A couple little things here that were funny that were not politically affiliated at all, but yeah. Yeah, that's it. But anyway, so that's all. If you want my thoughts on, oh man, I did watch Highlander with my son the other day. Good movie. It came in the mail. I ordered it. He liked it. It's actually a pretty good movie, man. And I knew that, but it had just been a really long time since I'd watched it. I love the transition and some of the. It's a cool movie, and that was like one of the first movies for me as a kid. That wasn't kid related. But anyway, I talk about that in another episode. If you're interested, check it out. But yeah, Star Trek 4. It's not as good as far as Star Trek. It's okay, but as a movie by itself, I think it's pretty good. Or with the other ones, I talk about that on my other podcast. Still love it, but it's kind of a non-Star Trek film for me now, because I wasn't much of a Trekkie. Not that I am now, but I was, the film as it was, I liked it, but as the whole scheme of things as Star Trek goes, it's kind of like, it's not, I don't know. But I talk about that in my podcast, the last one, just no video. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate your time. Drink coffee, pray the rosary, lift some weights. I'm going to start doing that. All right. Thanks for hanging out, and God bless. All right. Bye.
Say something for the podcast. Tell the people what you feel.